You are now listening to Sir Ink's The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. Now, this podcast is only catered to those that are 18 and above and may not be suitable for work, or as we like to say, NSF. But remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkers folk out there. My name is Sir Ink. Hello, everybody. I'm coming with a guest today. My favorite, the Curious Girl. She's back. She's back on my platform. Welcome back.
I'm your favorite?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I knew that. Am I really your favorite?
Yes, you got me started with this thing. Of course you're my favorite.
I love that.
Of
Yes.
course.
Oh, ching. I'm going to put that on my trophy wall.
Yes.
I'm his favorite.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are. All right, so look,
yay.
we've had a lot of conversation about relationships and the nuances of today, right? And so what came to my mind was, when did women lose their ability to finesse men? And why isn't that being taught? And I don't mean finesse in a bad way, but just being coercive in a very soft, feminine way. I see too much combativeness going on. I see a lot of young ladies, they don't even know how to talk to a man. They don't know what to be concerned with a man about. I find myself mentoring some young ladies, and I'm saying, like, listen, you have to ask a man, has he eaten? Does he drink enough water? How, not just how was his day, but be concerned about him, and then be soothing in a way to him that he wants to have you. He wants to hear your voice. He's looking forward to your message. Not what's up, where you at.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work. We've had some conversation about that in the barbershop. But so right now, let's talk about what has happened to women being able to finesse men, either with their physical appearance or their first of all, for me, it's their femininity, but that goes into their appearance and everything else. What do you think?
I think women, we're a hot mess right now. And I think the sad part is, I think a lot of women don't even actually, they don't have enough concern for what's going on to kind of like poke their heads up above the clouds a little bit and look back in history, or just kind of read the room, I guess, right?
Right.
Women have been they're getting their accolades or their kudos about femininity and things, what it means to be feminine or what it means to be a woman, actually, from everything on the exterior. And it stopped being from what was modeled at home. And I mean, if you didn't see if your mom was in the workforce because she was a single mom, or or just was also maybe very far left leaning on the feminist scale, you might have not seen her running the household and caring about making the environment good for her husband, your dad, the daughter's dad, just it wasn't being modeled to her what femininity and the full bandwidth of what it is to be a woman. Obviously we know we can accomplish a lot in the workplace. We're not stupid. Of course we can.
Yes.
But what are we designed for?
Right.
And
right now,
men and women are designed to complement each other. When men and women are designed to complement each other.
Yes.
And that's not good enough for women anymore.
Yeah, it seems
They need
that.
to, they have to, you know what I mean? Like, and I
Hmm.
understand the ambitious part of this, but at some point, you kind of, like I said, you kind of have to really take a step back and apply a little critical thinking and then say, how's this working out? Because
It's like
I don't think it's
softness
working
is looked
out.
as a
I think the
weakness.
numbers and the statistics prove that it's not working out that well right now for men and women.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not. So, I think part of it is through feminism is softness is looked at as weakness. As much as, I know a lot of
Hmm.
women change their vows up on wedding day. They take the word submit out. So submit and being soft seems to not be um, looked at as a very strong trait in women. And so women have gone the other end to go just more aggressive, more assertive, and more um, black and white, to be honest. And I think that is ruined. And I'm not blaming it all on women because I think men have let women off the hook because I know a lot of men with these kind of women that aren't happy. But I think that we've bought into that, like selling for less and taking someone who's not really as affectionate as they can be. And I see that when guys go other places and they meet women from other cultures, they're taken aback because those women are like women when we were younger. They were like the women we grew up with. They were soft, feminine women, very nice and kind. If they made food, they would serve you first instead of, anyone else in the house. There's just certain things that women do that make a man feel like, wow, she cares about me. And,
Yeah,
we've
well, that
lost like,
brings you, but it also,
mhm.
like, what some of the stuff you're talking about too as well is like that brings you status,
Yes,
right? Because
yes,
your woman is, you know, you roll up with your friends and everybody's hungry and she's like, hey, and she's hospitable and warm and
right,
welcoming and what can I
right,
get you? Of course, sweetheart. And
right,
then, hey guys, what can I get? Why don't I make something for you or whatever? Just,
right.
just being gracious and welcoming. And again, that's kind of like softer stuff. Yes, that's a little bit, you know, in the submissive realm. And I think that again, anything to do with, like you were saying, softness,
Hmm.
femininity,
Hmm.
submissiveness, submission,
Hmm.
those terms have all been railed against, demonized,
Hmm.
and I think the lack of those, if I were to ever describe what toxic femininity is, it would be the
Okay.
lack of those traditional characteristics that you would
Yes.
normally apply to a woman, because when you remove all that from a female, what do you
Hmm.
have left?
Right. And for me, and we've talked about this a little bit, but for me, because women are in the workforce and because women have to be competitive, right? They've lost the art of finessing, understanding when I go home, I'm gonna be
That's what I'm saying.
soft.
Absolutely.
I'm
They're
gonna be
around men
soft.
all day long.
Yes.
They're in an environment designed for men to thrive in.
Hmm.
And now we're asked to thrive in that environment too. So
Hmm.
women aren't stupid. We understand that in order for us to thrive in that environment as well, we need to adapt those
Hmm.
masculine qualities and exercise those throughout the better part of our day.
Hmm.
And then we come home, we're just as tired as men are at the end of the
Right.
day, and it's
Absolutely.
hard to switch that off and
Hmm.
go into our natural state is, which is a
Yes.
nurturing,
Right.
caregiving mode.
Right.
Can't fucking do it. We're exhausted.
Exhausted
We're not
and
designed to take the stress of the conquering
right.
competitive stress
Right.
that men were designed to take on.
Right.
And I'm talking about even the dinosaur caveman
Right.
days. Like, this is what they were
Right.
designed to do, take on that stress.
Right.
Women weren't out there, jousting with the saber-toothed tigers. No,
Right.
it was men.
That's.
So yeah,
Hmm.
so now we're trying to act like men.
Hmm.
We don't have We don't have the biology, the chemistry, the physiology for it.
Right.
And so, now we're supposed to come home and be that good match to our
Right.
man. Well,
So then
something has to give. We really can't do it.
absolutely, and you have that part, right? And
Yeah.
then you have another part of what I call the art of teasing, and then we've lost that. It's so much being shown online and through pictures that women do not understand how to tease men. Like burlesque shows, I love burlesque shows, right? Burlesque shows are very sexy. They have different outfits on. They're stripping a little bit, but it's art. And it's an art to teasing that women just as a whole do not have anymore. They don't know how to finesse
Yeah.
men. There was a time where you would take a woman out to dinner and she's like, if you like this, wait till you can come to my house next time. I'm gonna cook for you. Like they wanted to cook for you,
Yeah.
like, and that make a man be like, damn, she can cook her. Like I need to keep her,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and and she's being nice to you, and it's like those things are just lost with this McDonald's society that we're in. And I can't just blame it on young people because some of us have bought into it as well. There's a lot of older women that have just straight lost their ability to be feminine and to be soft and to be
Yeah.
hospitable. You know what I mean? And they wonder why they're not in relationships and they wonder why they run guys off. Because after the sex is normal to a guy, what else is there? I don't expect her to come home and cook every time, but you could be nice to me.
Well, but she
You can
could.
consider my feelings, and if there's
Yeah.
something that you want me to do, don't tell me what I should do. That's where finesse comes in.
Yeah.
Finesse me into doing what you want me to
Yeah.
do for
Let
you.
let me translate that for you because you have some female
Okay.
listeners, I'm sure, right? The
Yes.
translation is
100%.
um manipulate me into what I'm doing, what you want me to do, but don't let me
Yes.
know that that's what you're doing.
Yes. There's an art to it. My
There
grandmother did
is
it all the
that,
damn
and that's
time.
that is where the art meets the science right there.
Yes.
Is that how do you, again, it's through your you can go you if you hit a wall, you can go over it, which is more
Right.
masculine, I would
Right.
say. Like it's going to take physical strength to get over that
Right.
wall.
Right.
Or, as a woman, you can slowly tunnel your way underneath it.
Right.
You can go up or
See,
below. The,
and
what, the no, you get the same result. And so
yes.
this is what I want to impress on women. It's like by being this traditional, you know, caregiver, taking care of her man, running the household, all that stuff, that wields a lot of power
Right.
over him.
Right.
And everyone wants to look at that as the like it's that we're one somebody's weaker and somebody's above.
Right.
We're a
It's not about that.
complement of each other. Stop trying to be men. I mean,
Right.
like I said, it's really fucking stress you don't want.
So when I hear people like, well, women have to understand when you tell a man what he need to do, and it's something that you want him to do for you. What a man hears, what I would internalize. Let me talk about myself. When you tell me what I need to do for you, I start judging what you're doing for me, and if that don't
Right.
match up, now
Oh,
we got a
right. Yeah,
problem,
yeah, for sure, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Instead of you saying, "Hey, baby, um, I really wish if you could help me with this. Like being soft and nice. Cool. It doesn't make me judge what you do or don't do for me because it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter if I'm doing more for you than you do for me. Because if I really care about you, I want you in my life. It doesn't really matter. I don't look at it as I'm pouring more than you're pouring into me. But when you start telling me what I need to do, I start evaluating everything, and that's not a good place to be in. And I don't think but women are used to going to work and having to be like that with men in a competitive environment. Then when you come home, you got to understand
Oh, yeah.
I can't bring that person home because that is going to make things in my house upset. I may need him to do things. I can tell the guy at work what he need to do because I'm his boss. But when I come home, I can't be my man's boss. That's not going to work. It could work, but no one's going to be happy. The dude will be
Yeah.
miserable. He'll do it. I got guys that'll do it They'll do it. They'll do it to do it. They're fucking miserable. And if you care about your man, why would you want him to be miserable? You know he's miserable. You telling him what to do, and you ain't fucking him.
They're miserable
Like,
and
what's
she's
going on?
miserable too.
Yes, but people are
The
happy
woman,
being
a,
miserable because they don't
show
want to
me
be
a woman.
single.
Listen, a woman that has control over her man is barking orders. He submits to, and acquiesces to all of her bitching. Show me that woman. I'll show you a miserable. She's not
Right,
happy because this
right,
isn't, again, this is not her natural state of being.
right.
Everything in everything on the planet seeks to strike a homeostatic balance, and you
Mm-hmm.
cannot have that.
Right,
You can, as a woman, you cannot have that. I don't care who she is. I don't care what she's accomplished, what she says. You will always long for and want the more feminine attributes or the more feminine path that you didn't choose. You need, naturally, we have to find a way to live that out or we're not fulfilled.
right.
And when we try to straddle the two worlds too much, we're gonna the balance is off. It's gonna come up short somewhere. And generally
Right.
that's gonna be with your relationship with your spouse.
Yeah, I think women really have to
Because
understand too through
you're
the
all you're
feminine.
kind of competing against him too, in a way.
Yes, you are, and men are not getting in relationships to be in competition with their lover.
That's what I'm saying. This is
No,
this
no
is this is what
whatsoever.
that's what they do with other men. This is why this
Right.
is all confusing and weird.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
and that is a problem. But because men know they need women, right? Not only for sex but for companionship, they will tolerate a lot of
Yeah.
bullshit
Oh, they adapt. Men
because we're
will adapt to
strong
a
enough
lot of shit.
because we're strong enough to hold that and not complain about it, which is bad because we suffer.
It's
But
bad. It's
women
bad
just need
because
to
it's
understand how to go
exhausting.
back to being soft and finesseful. Finesse. It's okay. Don't tell him what he need to do. Coerce him into it with your softness and your femininity.
It's feminine wiles.
Yes,
I mean,
it goes such a long way. It makes everybody. You want the happy worker. You don't you want the happy dude, not the
yeah.
disgruntled dude. The job will get done with
Yes.
equal amount of time and effort. But don't you want a happy person along with you and not a disgruntled person? You don't want, even if you're at work, you don't want your employees to be disgruntled. You want them to be happy about what they're doing for you.
Oh
Period.
yeah.
Whether you finesse them into it, or like a guy, like I know Miss Shirley, she like donuts. No, but I need Miss Shirley to stay after work a little bit longer. But I'm gonna come in the morning with some donuts, her favorite. Look, Miss Shirley, I might need you to stay a little later today. You know what I mean? We got to get this project out, blah, blah, blah. It's just a way to talk to people, a way to do things for people that's just a soft way to go. Instead of coming at, Shirley, I'm going to need you to stay another hour tonight, period. Like
Yeah.
she may do it, she may have to do it, but she's going to be disgruntled. She's going to be upset. Like, there's just a tactical way of doing things that I think that women have lost. And we could talk about the men, because I'm sure men, we talk about men a lot about chivalry and stuff like that, but women have lost the art of finessing men.
No, I listen. I'm going to say it. It's not going to be popular with the ladies, but
Okay.
part of it will be popular with the ladies, and the other part won't. Okay, first of all, we fucked ourselves with feminism, and we now are seeing the results of what happens when we get to make all these free choices.
Uh-huh.
Um, Men have a specific role, and we have a specific role, and we have to
Mm-hmm.
stop brewing, like I said, problems we just don't want. I mean,
Right.
there's always a counterbalance. And so
Mm-hmm.
uh if we don't want to do what we're genetically designed and gifted for,
Uh-huh.
then then we'll have to take the counterbalance of that. And we have to own that. Don't,
Yes.
it's not on a man. It's not because men are bad. It's just because we are making different choices, and
Yes.
some of those choices aren't always the best for us.
Hmm.
And when you don't have that counterbalance perspective, that's what a man brings. If he cares about you, he's going to give you his opinion, and you should weigh it carefully. And just
And
to disregard it, it's like I'd love to really just point out to younger women today,
mhm,
like, find the women that are happy in relationships. I'll bet you most of their peer group doesn't have any. So then you're going to have to go a generation above, and maybe even a generation above that, depending on how
right,
young you are. But don't take your advice from women who are living the same exact lifestyle as you,
right,
especially if that's not what you want and that's not what's bringing you happiness. You really need to put your credence in women who are happy and have a lifestyle that you want to emulate.
right. I think,
And that's going to be hard for someone. That's going to be hard. Those role models for, I think, younger women, it's going to be fewer and farther between for a while.
mhm,
But I do think the pendulum is swinging back, and I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna revert. I think we've gone so far left. I think there's gonna be a swing back to a conservative, more kind of 1950s
yes.
household coming
Well,
up.
everything is cyclical, and what I see, far as me, I see, and I watch this. If a woman is aggressive and she's raising boys with no man in the house, or she's a yeller, she drowns her son's masculinity out. So a lot of these, so when women say, where the
Yeah,
men at? Y'all have raised men with no voices because the mom was just a yeller. See, my mom wasn't a yeller. That allows my masculinity to still be pronounced. But I've watched women be yellers and their boys are soft spoken. They're still boys, but they're soft spoken. When a woman starts talking, they just clam up. They don't say nothing. They put their heads down. I'm like, that's really deep, And
yeah.
so I just think women have to get back to
Hmm.
definitely being a little feminine, more feminine. And like I said, I'm watching women yell at kids, and all it does is drowns the boy's masculinity out. It does make him feel like he can't respond. He's standing there with a blank look on his face,
I know.
and
There's
this is like
yeah,
a whole bunch. It's like the sun is so bright, and you just trying not to, you putting
yeah.
your head down, got your hand over your eyes. That's what it feels like when a woman is yelling at a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Mm-hmm.
imagine that.
I mean, you can see that, and it's awful because there's a whole generation of children raised by just moms,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, for young boys, I think that's
Uh-huh.
really tough, because
Uh-huh.
they they need that male role model.
Uh-huh.
And that's not saying, I mean, like, okay, people get divorced.
Right.
We know divorce is high,
Right.
but it's just, God dang it. If you're going to get married, you also better be committed to, if you make children,
Uh-huh.
to what you're going to agree to, come hell or high water, about raising
Right.
that child, whether or not you're
Right.
married,
Right.
and know that that person's on the same page with you.
Yes. You
Um,
have to be on the same page. Absolutely.
I mean, because it's like, I'm not going to point the finger. I'm not going to say, because I think for the longest time, men got the bad rap for that. I think
Yes.
men were taking that, like, oh,
Uh-huh.
it's all these men who don't want
Yes.
to,
Yes.
be dads to their
That's
kids.
right. All
I
that
mean,
right.
I don't know. Is that I actually, it's like, I don't, is that the case? I don't know.
That's not
Maybe,
the case
sure.
anymore.
So I'm sure there's some deadbeats out there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
However, it takes people together collectively have to just be more responsible about their own choices and
Yes.
what they're doing. And you could even go to somebody and say, if you're having, like, even if it's an unplanned pregnancy, it's like, look, okay, let's have a real legit conversation about
Right.
what we're going to do here and how we're going to do it, because we don't want to turn a softy out into the world, or a ding dong or whatever. It's
Right.
like, but I think to even go further out with that, this just speaks to what we're seeing, speaks so much to the to the fact that our standard, American values, Americana, of what we used to think about was the American dream,
Mm-hmm.
the mom and the dad,
Mm-hmm.
one household,
Mm-hmm.
raising their 3.5 children together, or what, like th- that
Take
that is
over.
the ideal. You
That
get
is how I
them,
did.
because then you see that you got the mom staying home, running the house. They got that soft feminine influence. And then you also have the dad, the breadwinner, the provider, the protector,
Mm-hmm.
like all of this stuff. And then the kids go out and seek out what they know.
Yes.
And the problem is that the dysfunction is what now people are seeking out, because that's what they know. That's what they grew up with. And
That
they
is
grew,
what they know. Right.
and
Exactly.
that, I mean, I don't, I don't want to disregard anybody's household or upbringing, because you don't get to choose that, but if the people that were making these children were more responsible and that
Mm-hmm.
took that more seriously,
Right.
then, I feel like we would have, and we had two parents under one roof. I just feel like we'd have a better society. And
Well,
I hope,
absolutely.
I hope
Uh-huh.
I hope that shifts, because then we'll have better, well-adjusted children who got the masculine, regardless of their sex.
Right.
They got that. They got the masculine and the feminine, and that's really what, children need different things at different times in their lives. The same-sex parent more at one point, and then the opposite sex parent at another. But they're both so important. So
Mm-hmm.
when you chuck one out, you're already like you're already at 50%, which is an
Yes.
F by
Which is
anybody's
an
standards,
yes.
right? So,
Yes.
like, how can this be good?
We have to look at the results, and we all have this. We have the statistics. We have to look at the results, and you can just look at how society's going and understand that our core family units in America is broken.
But do you know who's
And
breaking up those families?
women,
Women.
yeah, women file for divorce 80% of the time.
Yeah, it's like 70 to 80%. There's a
Yeah,
54% divorce rate, but
yeah,
70 to 80%.
yeah.
And it's just like, ladies, the grass is not greener. I don't know what you think. I don't know what I don't know what they think.
And only
You
forty
know,
percent of only like something like 40% of them remarry.
men or women.
Women.
Well,
That's been married and divorced. I think the percentage of being married twice for a woman is like the average woman is like 40%.
men, I think it's a lot higher, because the
Men
men
is higher.
understand. Yeah, it's like, I want to say it's like 90%. I don't know for sure, but it's high,
Okay.
because you know why? Again, this is the bullshit women are sold with feminism. This is the complete and utter bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sold this shit, and we're propagandized, not because whatever it is that's funneling this crap your way
Mm-hmm.
cares about you as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
No, they care about the destruction of family values
Mm-hmm.
overall as a whole. And they
Mm-hmm.
can't, and bringing down society,
Mm-hmm.
that can't happen when you have a strong household, when you have these
Yeah.
strong household bonds.
Yes.
You're not influenced as easy. And
No.
so to go back to the influencing, the propaganda is mostly sold to women because we gobble it up. And it
Yes.
makes more sense. And we're also addicted to the social media, which is where the
Yes.
propaganda is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of like really makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And men from their basic core elements, their basic core instincts as men, they still understand at a very basic level, I am better off with that counterbalance. I'm better off with a female.
Yes. Yes. I need
Okay.
companionship.
Women, so this is why women need to really start to question themselves. We don't do that when naturally those are our natural instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Family, caretakers,
Yes.
give life, like
Yes.
reproduce, like, and we're all of a sudden saying we're better off alone, these solitary little isolated
Yep.
islands. We're not physically stronger.
Yes.
We don't make more than men do, but yet we think we're better off. No, this is like this again, ladies, just like look at those statements and think about that. Think it through all the way through. Again, there's nothing that says we're weaker. I mean, we are physically weaker, but I'm talking about, intellectually, we're over that. We left that in the rearview
Yes.
mirror. We're past that. Get
Right.
over that ego
Everybody's
thing.
equal there.
Yes. But, we're not, I mean, I don't know. Where's the female Elon Musk? Men
Right.
are creators, producers.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, who sang that song? Oh, he's dead. He's so good with that voice. This is a man's world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. James Brown.
Men made
Mm-hmm.
James Brown. Everything that we have, lights, electricity,
Mm-hmm.
men led the way. And again, that's not because we're not smart. It's because our our unique gifts and talents lie in other things.
Right.
And it's we're the ones like propelling the men so that they can actually, because we're providing a good home for them to come home to, they can be this creative and do all this stuff. And again, like, people are going to think, oh, you're not giving women their credit. I absolutely am. I'm a
Right.
smart woman. I've been out there in the business world, crushed it. It's so unfulfilling. I can just tell you, it's like been there, done that, and it's got the trophy. It's so unfulfilling. Like, I could give two shits about it. Like, can I do your laundry? Like, that's what I really want to do.
So
I'm
the
not joking.
no
Like, I
doubt.
like, I like, if I like somebody, I want to do their laundry. That's the truth.
Okay.
Like, I do. As a man, you know why? A couple things. I like it because it's caretaking. I like it because
Mm-hmm.
my mom did it. I like it because it's like it shows that I want to help make his day a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to steal men's underwear.
I knew that was
I'm
coming.
gonna
And you
take
get
a
to smell the
trophy.
man.
I'm
Right.
gonna take a trophy. I'm gonna take.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a trophy a little, but you know what? I really do like. I feel like if I can do something that is traditionally feminine for a man,
Mm-hmm.
the appreciation that I get back
Mm-hmm.
is, and the reciprocal, like what comes back to me by
Right.
doing those little things,
Mm-hmm.
it's 1,000% greater than that little effort I did
Right.
to help him. And that's the truth. And I wish more women understood that. Like,
So to go back to your point about that song, so strongly sang by James Brown, one of our best entertainers and singers of all time.
yeah,
But you said it's a man's world, but it would mean nothing
that's
without a
right.
woman or a girl.
I know.
It would mean nothing
Exactly.
without a woman or a girl. And
That's
this
what
is what we're talking about is
I know.
we have to find that balance where women can understand
I know.
it is a man's world, but it's nothing without you guys.
It's, it,
Everybody's come from a woman, period.
it's
You do
for
understand that.
us.
Yes.
Men will go out and conquer the world and slay dragons because they want to impress their female.
Yes. And protect them.
and and protect them and have status among other
Mm-hmm.
men,
Mm-hmm.
and it all goes together. And so, and
Yeah.
just like, so this is what I'm saying. Men, you and I, like, we were talking earlier, we did my podcast, and I was saying,
Yes.
like, men, well, I'm noticing this trend right now. Men in their mid 30s are like having emotional breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I've come across way too many that are just like they're
Right.
having their emotional, they're like a
Mm-hmm.
midlife crisis. And
Mm-hmm.
um it's because they have no woman. They have no female.
To balance themselves.
Because men left to their own, they're not, women aren't supposed to be left to their own accord, and men aren't either. It's not, because nobody is more,
Important.
nobody's superior to the other.
No.
It is the perfect yin and the yang. And
Right.
we as people want to fuck with that in the weirdest, strangest ways. And I'll say openly that, I was one of those females who didn't understand this, not but, 7.5 years ago, until finally I started my podcast. It was just like
Mm-hmm.
realizing something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
I have all this money. I have all this, business skills, knowledge, recognition, all the thing that all the other men get.
Right.
And yet, physically, like every day, I'm just like, I felt like this isn't, just something's wrong, something's
Something's missing.
off.
Yes.
And I knew it,
Right.
but I didn't know what it was. But I was feeling it big time,
Right.
and I didn't know how to even explain it, to a lot of people.
Because once you remove
But
the, because normally
yeah,
competition ends with something that you win, right? And you won the accolades, you won the money, you won this, you won that, and then you're looking like, well, what's left? Because that stuff isn't enough. Because that doesn't make you feel better as a person. It can make you look better, but
no,
it
no,
doesn't
it's like,
really make
oh
you
shit.
feel better when you're by
Let's,
yourself. It doesn't having more shit don't make you feel like I'm more accomplished. It make you feel
oh, I
like
don't care.
what they
I
say, what's having a award if you can't share it?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strange place, because the second you're done with that accomplishment, whatever that accolade was, it's like you're like, what's the next thing? Like, holy
Right,
shit. And it's a constant machine. It's a treadmill you have to stay on. It's not
right,
like, oh, I accomplished that. Well, I'm done. No.
right,
Again, you're in that
right,
producer mode. And again, that's a mode for men,
right.
and there's, and that super, super competitive stuff. Like, I don't mind. I am super competitive, but I'd rather channel it. I understand the difference in trying to channel it into avenue A versus
Right,
avenue B, right?
right.
And how I could be so much better to myself and maybe a partner, um, doing it in avenue B rather than
Mm-hmm.
avenue A, which is where I'm out there competing with the men. I mean, I don't, like, women have a big advantage. Everyone says women are so disadvantaged when it comes to
Right,
competing
right.
against men. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's such bullshit. Like, I can't even get behind that. Anyway,
Right.
I had a big advantage, and I knew it. I took it. I used it. It got me what I wanted at the time.
Uh-huh.
But what I didn't realize was that that's a short-term thinking plan.
Right.
My long-term plan, like what's
Uh-huh.
really makes me happy,
Uh-huh.
is not about that stuff. It's about building a life with someone, or being their rock, and
Right.
me being able to be my, soft, in
Uh-huh.
my softness, in my soft self, and I let them worry about fucking slaying the dragons and all the business shit. I
Right.
mean, I like that stuff a lot. I know I'm clever and smart and all that, but um you can do that by yourself. And then what?
Exactly. What's happening in the world if you can't share it?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not, yeah, it's not fulfilling. And I think women, there's certain things that we can deny it all we want. We can try to
Hmm.
say, we get our fulfillment from business things or traditionally masculine things, but
Right.
even when we're doing well in those areas, ultimately we don't.
Right.
Like why do you see female athletes that are like, yeah, we just won the World Cup. Now I'm retiring and I'm having
Right.
kids.
Right.
It's because
Right.
because it's not the high level achievement wasn't the ultimate goal. It was a stepping stone along the way. It was like, let me
Right.
knock this off my list because my ultimate goal is family. My
Right.
ultimate goal is children and being a mom. My ultimate goal is being a mom.
Right.
And people don't want to say that. Women don't want to say that anymore. That's like a negative thing.
Is it right?
It's like being a mom and a partner, like an amazing wife to someone, like what the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah, and women have lost the ability to finesse, and we're just ramming with two rams.
Because 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 what I was saying, that there's nothing. Finesse is the antithesis of what we're doing in the business world.
Yes, it is 100%.
Unless we're a hooker.
Hmm.
I mean high class escort. I don't mean
No
hooker.
doubt. Yes.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the things, that's why escorts are paid what they're paid, because they're doing what the wife should be doing.
Hello. Hello.
And the demand for that and what a man will pay for just those few moments is a lot. It's more than he can afford because they want and need that so desperately.
Yes.
And they should be getting it at home. And instead,
Yes. They have to seek it elsewhere. Yes. And men just want they just want something soft. They don't want nothing hard.
that's what I'm saying. That right there is the most beautiful, spot on, and simplistic thing that you just said. Yes, they want something soft
Hmm.
because again, not that that they're competing against their badass bitch. That's like we always say, like boss bitch.
Right.
Women, you need to take that down. Like you should don't be proud of that. Boss bitch means like chick with a dick.
Pretty much. That's all it means.
That means I have just as much testosterone in my body as he does. All right, then you're a man.
Right. It's nonsensical.
This is what I say about women. Like we women, stop fucking creating problems you don't want. You're brewing problems you don't want to have.
Right.
And I'm just saying, like, kind of, I definitely got down that road. I feel like I course corrected, like, quick with enough time, but I guess I'll say in women's defense, it is confusing because I think even so for me with my with dads, like dads, were proud to say like, yes honey, you can do whatever you want,
Hmm.
right? Dads want to, of course,
Empower you.
no dad wants to be say
Hmm.
like, yeah, just be a simple bitch,
Right.
like,
Right.
but now that we kind of see how important it is, I think, for dads to tell their daughters, like, listen, you know what is important to me and what is so great about you is that you have, X, Y, and Z characteristics,
Right.
right? And those might have nothing to do with how she performs athletically in sports or how she performs with her grades or how she's, it's just maybe about her kindness and her softness and her concern for others and how she's, a good caretaker. Like
Hmm.
nobody, like those things don't get kind of complimented. It's not, those aren't put on those used to be put on a pedestal. Women
Yes.
had to take etiquette classes. A fine wife she had to be a
Yes.
virgin. She had to know how to sew,
Yes.
needlepoint, play an instrument, speak another language,
Etiquette
be
class.
well read,
Right. Etiquette
etiquette,
class. Yes.
right? I mean, like all this stuff, like, and so we just don't, and those are feminine things, right? Traditionally, right? So
Right.
we're not focused on those anymore. And I just think, I just think a lot of men would really appreciate women being women.
Yes.
And 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 then we can also take a little bit from our modern time, and that we're, a little more
Of
educated in the
course.
bedroom.
Of course. Of course.
So we now we have that going for us.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like we really can, we're like a triple threat. Women
Yes.
could be a triple threat if they really wanted to, but we've lost our way a little bit. And we just kind of need to circle back, reevaluate, and go, okay, like how can I really be the most, where and how can I make the most impact? Oh, I know. It's by honing all these skills. It's not by trying to just go out and like be a man and compete against a man. It's actually by the woman that's harnessing that man's power and
Right.
devotion.
Right.
She's the fucking strong one.
Or just be a boss
So
bee or a bad bee. Like all that is just, it's too, for me, it's too simple for women. Like you just want to be a boss bee
yeah,
or you
but
just
when
want
you
to be a
hear
bad bee. Like that's so
yeah,
simplistic
but
of,
when you hear that, like honestly, it's not like if a man said, "I'm a high value man," you'd be like, "Oh, wait, whoa, what's
right.
that? Okay, maybe I got to
Right.
listen to this guy."
Right.
When a woman sits there and says, "I'm a boss bitch," blah blah blah,
Right.
you just tune her out. You're like,
Oh Lord, bye.
right? I
Bye.
mean,
Whatever.
right, right.
Yes. Because whatever, everything that come
So
with it don't make my dick hard, and it certainly
I know,
probably
but
don't make her pussy wet.
that's right. Okay, so women need to hear that because the only thing that I'm a boss bitch, blah blah blah, the only thing that resonates with is women to other women. It doesn't resonate to men.
No.
And women need to understand that. Men
No.
don't give a shit about what you make. They don't give a
No.
shit about
You being a
your
boss.
boss bitch and da da da.
No. Don't care.
You may as well be speaking a foreign language to them. They don't fucking care.
Yeah,
It's
because
not what they value. And so
no.
women have lost the ability to read the room, to understand what a man needs and wants, and sell to him her ability to feed that need.
Yes.
It's
It's
a
just that
simple,
simple.
it's a very simple,
Very simple.
simple dynamic that it's gotten so fucked up. There we go.
Well, I appreciate you, Dial. I do. I love these
Sorry.
conversations. No,
I know.
that's a great way to close it out. That was it right there.
I think
That was it
so.
right there. Can
I
you
think
let
so.
my audience know? They already know where to find you, but tell them where they can find you.
Yes. Yes. Well, first of all, I'm happy to be back with your audience again. I feel like
Yes.
we're
They love
rekindling
you too.
we're rekindling our little our
Yeah.
podcast dynamic,
Yeah.
which I
Yes.
always loved and appreciated so much. Those are like some of my favorite podcasts.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
just this kind of stuff. So,
Run the red
uh,
lights. Lord have
yes.
mercy.
Yes. So, everybody, I'll make it easy. You don't have to go to my link tree. Just go to my website, thecuriousgirldiaries.com. From there, you can link to all my social medias. Just scroll right down to the bottom of the homepage. Boom. You can link to all my social medias. Follow me there. And then my favorite thing is the voicemails. I love your voicemails. If you have a question for me, or you just want to tell me you didn't agree with me, whatever, it's no big deal. Whatever you want to say, I get back to everybody personally. I will answer you personally. So you have 5 minutes, let it rip. It's the pink tab on the right hand side of my website, curiousgirldiaries.com, and I would love to hear from you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone that's listening. I certainly appreciate you. Please leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and share. And like she said, whether you agree or disagree, we want to know what you think. And
Yep.
until next time,
Bye.
you know how to find me, Sir INQ, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can always email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, peace.